Hey Pokemon champions, what's going on? It's Champion Dark Blaze here and Pokemon Legends Arceus, the game that everybody is super hyped about. We're all hyped for it, and it's the future of Pokemon. They described it as a beginning of a new era for the main series, and this is the brand new main series. It was never referred to as a spin-off or a side game, so this is what the new main series is gonna look like, and I'm excited about it. But if we are gonna go this route for the main series, what other future Legends titles could we potentially see? Well, today we're gonna go over every single possible Legends titles that we could get for future Pokemon games. So let's dive right in.
Alright, I choose you!
Starting in chronological order, we should start with Generation 1, and the only thing I could see them doing for Generation 1 is Pokemon Legends Mew, or Pokemon Legends Mewtwo. Now, Mewtwo has actually been in the games. We've seen Mewtwo in Cerulean Cave in both the Kanto games and in the Gen 2 games and the remakes as well. So Mewtwo is accessible. We know about Mewtwo's backstory through notes in Cinnabar Mansion on Cinnabar Island, but they could go this route with Mewtwo, giving it more of a deeper fleshed out story. But I think the one they would do is Pokemon Mew. Pokemon Legends Mew. And I think they would do this because of all the rumors and all the playground stories we heard growing up about Mew under the truck and how elusive Mew is. Mew is so mythical that even in the Pokemon world, people still don't think it's actually a real Pokemon. Now, we've seen it in the anime, we have seen it, but the viewer knows about it. It's not really known to everyone in the anime whether it's real or not. I mean, we have in the current Pokemon Journeys anime that Go is trying to work his way to Mew and one day capture it, but I think if we had Pokemon Legends Mew, we could focus more on the origins of Mew, confirm its existence, rather than just keeping it at this mythical status. I mean, that is really cool and all, but it would be cool to finally see it in one of the main series games. I mean, just imagine going on a quest throughout the Kanto region to find Mew. Maybe if you actually do fill the Pokédex, you can find a Mew. I mean, Mew was obtainable with the Pokéball Plus for Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, but if you don't get that, then you don't own a Mew. Mew is very elusive, and with Pokemon Legends Arceus having Arceus as the main focus and building upon its lore and history, they could do the same with Mew and for once make Mew catchable, just like I think they're gonna do with Arceus. So if they do this for Generation 1, we'll probably get Pokemon Legends Mew. On to Generation 2, we're looking at the Johto region, and the only one that they can do is Pokemon Legends Celebi. Now, of course, we have the Celebi event from Heart Gold and Soul Silver, where you get to go back in time and see the confrontation between Silver and Giovanni, but if you play Virtual Console Crystal, you can get a Celebi in Ilex Forest after either beating the league once or doing everything in the post-game. It's one or the other, but you can get a Celebi in Virtual Console Crystal. The first time I think Celebi has actually been obtainable that way. But of course, Celebi is one of those Pokemon that not everybody gets to see, and even though it had some recent relevance in Pokemon Journeys with Go and his friend, yeah, I don't really see any other people in the anime really knowing about Celebi. Yes, we had a whole movie about it, but Celebi isn't really talked about, just like Mew. It's extremely mythical. So I think if we had a game focusing on Ilex Forest and the Shrine of Celebi, even focusing on the GS Ball, because what if Celebi is inside the GS Ball? The GS Ball is a plotline in Pokemon that was dropped like a feather, just dropped and vanished out of thin air, and we don't know about the GS Ball anymore. Maybe it holds Celebi, or a Celebi from a various point in time. And I think having a story focused on Celebi for a Legends game would be absolutely fantastic. Now, moving on to Generation 3, I'm not really too sure what they would do for a Legends title in this game. Now, they could focus on Rayquaza and do Pokemon Legends Rayquaza, but seeing as how we've already got an Emerald version and a Delta episode in Oras, that's probably not gonna happen. They could do Deoxys, but again, with the Delta episode, Deoxys has been made obtainable. The only ones I could really see them doing would be Jiarchi. Jiarchi is one of those mythical that, again, not everybody can have access to due to the way Jiarchi was originally distributed back in the day, and on top of it, not everyone can have access to it. Jiarchi is again one of those Pokemon that is extremely mythical and extremely elusive. So I think we could get a story about Jiarchi, where it came from. We could have more of a fleshed out story in Moss Deep City with the space rocket, maybe actually launch it into space, go find out where Jiarchi came from. I just think it's a bit more likely that they would focus on Jiarchi if they did a Legends game for Generation 3. I don't know exactly what they could do, but having a story focused on Jiarchi and actually being able to catch it, because unless you've played My Pokemon Ranch, then you don't have a Jiarchi in any other possible way. So I think a story focusing on Jiarchi would make perfect sense for a Legends Generation 3 title. Now on to Generation 4, and you're probably wondering, why are they going to do a Generation 4 title if we've already got Pokemon Legends Arceus? Now, hear me out. They could revisit Generation 4 and the Sinnoh region further down the line, but that's to be determined later in the future. If they did go back to Sinnoh and make a second Legends title for it, I think the best version would be Pokemon Legends Regigigas. Now I did think about Pokemon like Shaymin or Darkrai, even Cresselia and Heatran, but Cresselia and Heatran have been able to encounter multiple times in different generations, so they've been obtainable. Darkrai and Shaymin already had their own events, and in previous videos I've mentioned how we're probably going to be able to capture them in Pokemon Legends Arceus at some point in the story. But with Regigigas, the opportunity to explore more lore and history of Sinnoh becomes that much more prevalent, that much more possible to do if we get Pokemon Legends Regigigas. In the original Pokemon Gen 4 games of Diamond Pearl Platinum, if you bring the 3 Regis from Hoenn through Pal Park and you get them to the Snowpoint Temple, you can capture a level 1 Regigigas. Or is it level 70? It's one or the other. And on top of it, it'll be a great way to incorporate the brand new Regidrago and Regieleki. I still think this thing should have been called Regivolt. I don't know why they did that. It was sitting right there. It was a perfect opportunity to name it that, but they didn't. So Pokemon Legends Regigigas would be a great way to incorporate all 5 of the Regis and go further into the backstory of Regigigas. Maybe we could see the olden days where we see Regigigas at its full strength instead of being locked away dormant in Snowpoint Temple. Maybe we can see what kind of destroyed the outside of Snowpoint Temple, because if we look in the anime specifically, we can see that it's been destroyed a little bit. Maybe there was a struggle there with Regigigas. We don't know. We could find the answers to that. And on top of it, Game Freak obviously has some love for Regigigas because you can capture Regigigas in Sword and Shield in the Giant's Bed. I'm pretty sure it's the Giant's Bed, but you can get Regigigas in a max raid battle in the Crown Tundra. So maybe they could make some brand new story that explores the lore of Regigigas if they made a brand new Legends game for it. Now we're going to Generation 5, and the most obvious title that we would do for Generation 5 is Pokemon Legends Kyurem. Now, some people may want the Swords of Justice or Pokemon Legends Genesect, but honestly, Kyurem is the best fit as to a new game that could explore the lore of the Unova region. Of course, if we stick with the theme of exploring lore and history and the mythology of each of the given regions in the Pokemon world, then we would finally be able to see the 2 heroes, the 2 kings of olden Unova in the war 3,000 years ago. We could see the Abyssal Ruins before it was sunk. We could see Eastern Unova before it was a popular tourist attraction. We could see Unova before all the sprawling cities and the bustling streets and all the people populated the area. And most importantly, we could see the potential design for what the original dragon that was the fusion of Kyurem, Zekrom, and Reshiram. We could see what that original design really was, because ever since Generation 5, people have speculated what that original dragon would look like. Was it just a fusion of all 3? Was it as simple as that? Or was the design completely different? Was Kyurem the main focus in that design while the parts of Zekrom and Reshiram were only mildly there? We don't know. So I think if we got Pokemon Legends Kyurem, one, it could also rectify having that missed opportunity with Pokemon Gray. We could finally get answers to all these questions and see Unova in a light we've never seen before. On to Generation 6, this is the most infamous one and obvious, and that would be Pokemon Legends Zygarde. We all wanted Pokemon Z after the release of Pokemon X and Y, but unfortunately Pokemon Z did not happen. It's one of the biggest missed opportunities in Pokemon history, and instead they jumped right into ORAS, and then shoehorned content that obviously would have been in Pokemon Z into Pokemon Sun and Moon, and it really just didn't make any sense at all. Like, what were they doing? But if they did do Pokemon Legends for Generation 6, it would be the perfect way to do a remake for those games, or in this case, a pre-make, a prequel. We could see Kalos in a light when it existed around the time of that war 3,000 years ago. We could see how Kalos was shaped after that war. Maybe we could see the origin of AZ's Floette. Maybe we could see that story unfold a little bit more. Maybe we could also see how that war started. We could see the ultimate weapon being constructed. Maybe as the player character, we could try and stop that war. Maybe it would have a different outcome and we can fast forward in that game to present day Kalos and see how Kalos would have been different if that war had never happened. On top of it, Pokemon Legends Zygarde just also gives us answers to all of the missing Pokemon questions that we have from X and Y, such as where does the train station go from Koreway Town because the train doesn't go anywhere. Some have hypothesized that this train would lead to Galar. Even I've said it in a previous video about 2 years ago that the train could go to Galar. We need answers, and Pokemon Legends Zygarde would be the perfect way to do so. Moving on to Generation 7, we're looking at the Alola region. Now, there's a bit of options that we have for Generation 7, but honestly I think the one that makes the most sense would be definitely Pokemon Legends Tapu. It really sounds like another word, oh my goodness. But honestly, I think having a Legends game that focuses on the Tapus would just make a lot more sense. Or actually one that would be better would be Pokemon Legends Zeraora or Marshadow. Honestly, Alola is a tricky one to figure out because there's not many legendaries in that game that had too much significance that wasn't shown on screen. We saw how important Solgaleo and Lunala were, we had focus on the Necrozma, we had focus on the Tapus, the Ultra Beasts even. So I'm not really sure what they could do for a Legends game in Alola. Maybe you guys have a better idea down in the comments, let me know. And finally, we're getting up to Generation 8. If they made a Legends title for the Galar region, I think the only choice would be Pokemon Legends Urshifu. Now why Urshifu and not Eternatus? Because Eternatus already got so much spotlight in the original Sword and Shield, whereas Urshifu only got a little bit of development in the Isle of Armor. We still don't know what region Urshifu originated from. It just came from a region and trained in the mountains, and it's a fighting type, and now it's got the 2 towers in the Isle of Armor. So where did Urshifu come from? I think it'd be great to expand upon this story and give us the answers that we've been theorizing about for about the past year or so. So there we go, Pokemon champions. Those are all my thoughts as to what I believe every future possible Legends title could be. I know I didn't give much on Alola. Honestly, I think the Tapus would be really the only thing they could focus on if they did Pokemon Legends for the Alola region. But honestly, you guys gotta let me know a better choice in the comments. I think all of the other ones, though, are definitely feasible options for a Pokemon Legends game in every single generation. And if so, what Legends title would you be looking forward to the most? Let me know down in the comments below. Personally, I think the ones I'd want to see the most would be Pokemon Legends Kyurem and Zygarde. But until we get those future titles or any confirmation, train hard, I'll catch you guys later.